My name's Leslie Hanson, and I'm the founder and executive director of Equally Created. And Equally Created is a nonprofit organization, and the reason why we started Equally Created is we wanted to make sure that childcare was accessible to everyone in Nashville and the surrounding areas, because it has really become something that people are really struggling to have good care. And so we started about 3 years ago to try and help alleviate that problem. How I started my entrepreneurial journey really was a little bit by accident. I started noticing a few years ago that there were just a lot of different ways that people were marginalized and treated in the world that, unfortunately, I had not noticed as much before. And so as this was being brought to my attention, I just started doing a lot more study, a lot more research around like, why are things working the way they do? Why are people, marginalized because of the community they were born into, or the color of their skin, or their economic background? And so I started really researching, like, what's the part I can play? Like, what can I do? And so how that really came about is my background is in early education. And so I've worked with children for the majority of my adult life. And what happened with Equally Created and how I decided to go ahead and venture out on my own was that I wanted to bring those things together. How do we do both? And I didn't really see a lot of that happening. And so for me, like, some of our early wins was, in our original location, it was being able to reach full capacity with the families that we had. And so we were able to enroll to the point where we were full. We didn't have any other room for children. Some hard lessons that I've learned just in getting my business started and off the ground is to really not do it by myself. I think it's easy when you're the person that feels like the pressure is all on you, to just carry the burden and almost do it silently. And so you might be, awake in the middle of the night, letting the stress eat away at you whenever there are people that care. And so I would say that if I were to go back and restart my business, I would have, I'm not saying like a ton of people, but I would probably have like 1 or 2 more people that were like at a higher level of involvement with me, so that I wasn't carrying so much of it myself and without support. I would say that I was not prepared for the mental toughness and just an overall sense of resilience that you need to own your own business, and to not only own your own business, but then try and grow your business and try and meet more needs. That the things you face, instead of always looking at them as a negative, as to look at them as, okay, I haven't faced this before. This is a new one. It's okay if it upsets me. It's okay if I don't know what to do, but it's also hopefully going to teach me something that will help with tomorrow. I think probably the best piece of advice that I've received since starting my business is to make sure that we get our business sustainable before we try and move in different directions. So for me, being a little more mission-based, it's easy to be driven by the mission, because that's why we're doing what we do. We want to make sure childcare is accessible. And so part of that is, we're trying to offer financial support for our families. Well, if you don't get to a place where you're financially sustainable, it's really hard to offer financial support to your families and then fulfill your mission. And so often I think businesses can get so focused on just what do we want to do? What do we want to do? That you forget to make sure you're sustainable before you focus so much on what do we want to do? What are the changes we want to make? If you would like to keep up with Equally Created, we'd love to see you follow us. On Instagram, we're Equally Created Nashville. You could also find us on Facebook under Equally Created, LinkedIn under Equally Created. Our website is equallycreated.org. And if you would like to donate, you can also just head to our website, and there's a donate button there for you to also donate.